Hey everybody, welcome back to Mavin Forge. Last week was my first introductory video and showed you my shop. This is going to be my first welding instruction video. It's just a little bit about my background. I started learning to weld back in 2012 from the College of Southern Nevada, and I found my passion for welding. I absolutely love playing with molten metal. There's just something about it. It's like painting, but with molten metal. It's just awesome. So I'm gonna go over some of the stick procedures just a little bit. I don't wanna drum on about it because who really cares about the science? We just wanna get to do some welding. So this is my machine. I have a Chicago Electric. It's from Harbor Freight. It's a 165 amp TIG and stick inverter welder. It does really great work for what I do in the shop. Yeah, mostly it's 1/8 inch stuff, some quarter, but then you just have more than one pass to get the penetration and the weld coverage or weld reinforcement that we want to get. So two of the most common electrodes that you're going to find in a shop like this are 6011 and 6013. Reason being, a lot of people have a buzz box, which is only AC. That's what I started with. I borrowed one from my father, who was my grandfather's, and he got it back in the 80s. So it still runs, but it went on to another family member that needed a welder. So I had AC rods, which is what these are. They're AC and DC. 6010 is the industry standard for root passes and dirty materials, but like I said, most people don't have a DC welder. I mean, I do, but so anyway, that's why I have 6011 and 6013. All right, so continue. So this here looks a lot like 6010, but it's 6011. It's kind of a dirty rod. It's known for penetration, and it'll blow away a lot of crap, so you can weld on stuff that still has its scale, a little bit of paint, a little bit of rust. It's not gonna care. It's gonna get rid of it and move it out of the way so that the metal can get to the metal underneath. 6013 is more of a pretty electrode, needs cleaner materials. It's more of a working with sheet metal and thinner stuff. It's not known as much as the 6011 for its penetration. Now I don't have it turned on, so I can touch things and it's not gonna spark on me. And one of the first things to work on is just controlling your puddle. You don't need to worry about moving anywhere. You don't need to worry about putting two pieces together. The first thing you got to do is be able to start your arc and then be able to control it. So that's what we're going to do just for today. So I'm going to turn on and we're going to see some sparks. All right, so I got my machine on. I've got it set to 99 amps. I like odd numbers. It is what it is. So basics. You need your PPE, some good gloves, slag hammer, wire brush. I fully support getting these kinds of things from Harbor Freight because they're not fancy and they don't have to do anything. So save some money and get stuff that you're going to destroy anyway. All right, here we go. Helps to put the ground on the table. All right, let's try that again. All right, so at the end of that video, you probably saw as my hand, I turned it off again, so we're not gonna spark arc ourselves. But probably saw it doing this number. It's because the rod is being consumed in the weld, and you gotta keep pushing it into the weld, otherwise it's just gonna go out. And just a little bit of technique here. All I did is make a puddle, but you wanna have your tip in the puddle just enough that it stays in the cloud of burning flux, because if you pull it further away, it's gonna splatter and it's gonna break the electrical connection and it's gonna die. So we keep it just inside that puddle, and you move it around, and then you start to drag. So you just create a puddle and play with it and see how it goes. All right, so we'll do one more thing. I'm not just gonna leave you on the puddle, because what good does a puddle do you? Machine's off. So once you get that started, you scratch it like a match, and you keep it in it so that it keeps that electrical connection, because that's what's melting away the rod. And you drag, and you can do swirls, you can do zigzags, you can do nothing and just drag it. It's not gonna be very pretty. The 6011 is not very pretty. So I like to just swirl it a little bit, kind of like I'm smearing my paint around and dragging it, and drag it along. And to move it forward further, you can put two pieces together and do it along that gap to put two pieces of metal together. So I'm just gonna run some stringers, just surface welds, and make some sparks. All right, so some of you may have heard me earlier say that I had the machine turned up to 99 amps. It was a little hot for that thickness of material. So I've turned it down. I'm running mid-70s now, and it's going a little bit better. Not every day is a perfect welding day. We make mistakes, we adjust, and we learn from them. All right, so now it's probably pretty apparent in the video that sometimes I pause when I've broken the arc. It's because I'm waiting for my welding helmet to come back to where I can see stuff, so that has to cool off. It's good, so like if you're doing TIG welding, and sometimes even with stick welding, you can just get back to it. So like when you're shooting and you don't want to put the gun down immediately, so you can see, do the follow through. So in welding, we do the follow through. No, it's ugly because it's still got slag on it and burned flux, but that's the principles. Started here, did some circles, moved along. You can see the freshly solidified weld puddle. So that's how we get started. And you put all the pieces together and you make something bigger. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, we're gonna have some more fun.